So I'm going to do an example with this, and then I'll dissect it back to this woman. Well, I'll tell you the long story short. I found out by asking her what? Questions. That she was the president of this organization, and that specifically it was a nonprofit organization that helped kids. And I found out what their biggest need was, okay? And then I showed her by her simply handing me that directory. Remember the power of contrast? You can have a lot more of what's most important for you by simply doing this one little step. So I showed her, hey, she wanted to help provide inner city kids that had parents on drugs, that were in jail, whatever. Hey, I can help you provide a lot more support for these kids. See, I'm going to get emotional here, right? I can help you help these kids that don't have a mom or dad, or their parents are in jail because of drugs or this or that. I can help you to help a lot more of them by simply giving me this directory. And here's how. And I told her the specifics. She got up, hey, yeah, here, you can have it right away. Why? Because her heart was there in wanting to help these kids. I helped her by giving her a lot more of what's most important for her, and I showed her the way to do it is by taking this one little minor action, simply handing me this directory. Clear? Okay? So let's do it real quickly with Vance. So Vance, again, ask permission. Tell him, Vance, with your permission, what I like to do is ask you a couple questions so that I can help you have a lot more of what's most important for you. Now, obviously, that would help me as well, but best thing for you is it's going to help you have a lot more of what's most important for you. Would that be okay with you?
Absolutely.
Absolutely. So, Vance, if, and you've probably heard this question a lot of times, there are a lot of different variations of it. If, money and time weren't an issue for you, what's the one thing that you'd really, remember I mentioned that earlier, when you put the word really into a question and you put emphasis on it, what's the one thing that you really like to do that you haven't been able to do lately? And I'll dissect that question in just a second. But I say, what's the one thing, put emphasis on, what's that one thing that you really like to do that you haven't been able to do lately? So how would you answer just off the top of your head?
Off the top of my head, practice more art, photography, sculpture.
Okay, great. So he comes back and he gives me practice more art, photography, sculpture, okay? Now, generally, people are going to give you, and I'll give you this example, a vague answer. They'll say, well, I want to travel, or I want more freedom, okay? Or I want more time with my kids, okay? So Vance said, I want more
more time to create art like I used to when I was younger and single.
Okay. There's the clue right there.
Yeah, that's...
I'm married too. I understand that. Yes, I know how that goes. But then we do other things that are
absolutely.
I'm being filmed, so no. I definitely love doing all these things like changing diapers and yes. Okay. So he says, I want to have the time to do the creative things like art and sculpture and photography that I used to do. Now that's not as vague as other people, but so I would ask him some more what? Questions. Let me show you where I'm going to want to go with this. Most people give you a vague answer. I want more freedom. I want more time. I want to travel, whatever. You want to get them to give you a very specific answer. So here's where we're going. We're going to ask questions to get them from going from someplace that's vague to someplace that's very specific. Once you identify what's specific, we're going to ask some more what? Questions to get them to emotionally experience it right now. This is part of some NLP stuff that I'm sure Alexander knows about, right? So we're going to help them go from vague to specific, ask them more questions, get them to experience it as if they had it right now. That's going to dramatically increase the likelihood that they're going to take that one little action in that power of contrast and give you whatever you're asking for, okay?